Top of the morning to Nate from Ireland. Steelers win in Ireland. Gonna be honest. Gonna be upfront real quick. Didn't watch the whole game. I woke up, alarm went off at 9. Said, all right, we'll set it for 9:25. Alarm goes off 9:25. I remember waking up to seeing DK Metcalf run down the sidelines. I remember not the whole game. I don't remember the whole game. Watched a decent amount, but I don't operate before 10 a.m. It doesn't happen. And on Sundays, it's tough for me to operate before noon. It's just tough.
That's fair.
So, still a great win for your Pittsburgh Steelers. 3-1, leading the division now after the Baltimore Ravens are. I mean, I guess we could talk. This is just kind of a story. The Ravens have lost Lamar for 2 to 3 weeks. The Bengals don't have Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
The Browns just said Dylan Gabriel is going to be their starter. Is this the best? I mean, obviously you don't want to root for injuries, but the Pittsburgh Steelers are being gifted some divisional help right now. And they're 2 games? They got 2-game lead in the division, which is big. Division is looking Pittsburgh's way as of right now, Ev or Nate. Sorry, but yeah. What are your thoughts on everything that went down?
Yeah, it sucks for my fantasy team because I of course have Lamar Jackson, so he's gonna be missing for 2 weeks. So that's gonna be great. The Ravens, we can talk about that more on the final whistle too. But the Ravens might be, even if Lamar is healthy, like per se Lamar was here still, they might be the best 1-3 team of all time. Like, when you look at the roster, their defense has just been bad. And they just lost one of their best defensive players. I think it was for the year, or it might be for a while at least. Yeah. The Bengals lost Joe Burrow until at least I think December. And then the Browns it looks like it's going to be Dylan Gabriel. Of course, if Dylan Gabriel, I think, is starting this week in London, that would mean the Steelers will be facing Dylan Gabriel coming off of the bye week. So it's going to be interesting. I'm happy. I was really anti-week 5 bye week, but now looking at all the Steelers injuries, of course, Jalen Ramsey got hurt. Calvin Austin's hurt. Both of those guys could be missing some time, especially Calvin Austin. His was more a little bit concerning, more so than Ramsey. So they desperately needed this bye week. I'm hoping to see Alex Highsmith come back fully healthy. It was great to see Deshaun Elliott. He made an impact in his first game back because it's Deshaun Elliott. Why wouldn't he? But yeah, they are going to need a lot of good health in this bye week, and they are definitely needing this break because, like you said, this division is going to be missing a lot of the superstars. The Browns have a rookie QB now. The Browns are also not playing good football. But, I mean, the Browns' defense is still pretty solid, in my opinion. So the Steelers are going to be tested, honestly, on the side of the Browns' defense, that is, in that first game out of the bye. So they can't just act like, and I'm not going to act like that these are 2 set-in-stone wins because we see it every year. The Steelers can go in somewhere. They went into Cleveland last year and lost to Deshaun Watson. They could easily just step on a rake in the backyard and just right on their foot and then just like poop their pants, basically, and flop in one of these games. When you look at this rest of the schedule, like coming out of this bye, Browns, Bengals, looking at what their QB situation is, Dylan Gabriel, Jake Browning. You should think those are wins, but we know how this team plays against the division. So this bye week happened at a perfect time. I'm happy it happened now. I've changed my mind on the week 5 bye. Sure, we might need it towards the end of the year, but the way the injuries are kind of stacking up for this team that's already kind of old, especially on the offensive side of the ball, they're going to need rested up. So I don't know what your thoughts are on that whole situation, or do we just want to get into this?
As usual, my Wi-Fi is just the worst ever. So you sound like a robot in here. So a lot of the stuff that you're saying can't really hear. It's like it's the worst ever.
Oh no.
So I heard you talk about the bye week. Yeah, it's a good time for a bye week, Nate. It's a good time for a bye week. I know you said that you're happy with it. I'm fine with it. I honestly wish that we could just keep the gas moving right now. I don't think that we're not beat up enough for the bye week, it's a very early bye week. And the only reason we have the bye week is because we were just in Ireland. That's why we have the bye week for this week. That's usually how it works. But yeah, I don't know. Moving forward, I mean, I guess we got it. Let's talk about the game. Let's recap the game a little bit. DK Metcalf, 126 yards, his most as a Steeler, 5 catches, 1 touchdown, his best game as a Pittsburgh Steeler. Aaron Rodgers, 200 yards, 1 touchdown, interceptions, sacked twice, bad QBR, good passer rating. Kenneth Gainwell had a monster game. Obviously, Jaylen Warren was scratched pregame. Screwed a lot of people's fantasy lineups up. I was not one of them, but a lot of people woke up and Jaylen Warren was ruled out and was locked in their lineup, which I think is funny. But yeah, Kenneth Gainwell, man, what a game this guy had. What a game.
Yeah. Kenneth Gainwell is the first Steelers running back this year to have over 50 yards, and he cracks 99. I don't know. That shows how the running game's been this year.
Over 50? Over 50?
Yeah, no Steeler this year has had over 50
Warren had
yards
like 83.
running. Nope. Receiving wise, sure, not running wise. But yeah.
Oh yeah, he had. Yeah,
Kenneth Gainwell was 99.
Like a beast. Caleb Johnson also didn't look terrible.
No, he was solid as backup.
Didn't look bad as well.
Yeah, 6 of 22, long of a 9-yard. Aaron Rodgers had a tough run, and then Broderick Jones saved his butt recovering the fumble. I thought that was really funny. I'll say this about Broderick. This might have been one of Broderick's best games as a Steeler, and it's not just because of that one play that he saved Rodgers. Broderick Jones gets no complaints. Troy Fautanu gets no complaints. If there was any part of the O-line that wasn't good, was the interior of the O-line. So good on Broderick Jones kind of silencing the haters this week. I liked him, what he did.
Yeah. Again, it was tough for me to watch, but I really couldn't dive deep into what Broderick did. I mean, it says that he recovered a fumble, which was Rodgers' fumble, it appears.
Yes.
But I mean, Nate, this we got to talk about it. 15 points the Steelers let up in that fourth quarter. They were up. What were they up? At one point, it was
24-6.
24-6, and they blew it. I mean, it's you win, but you blew a lead. I know who you're gonna blame here, but it happens, I guess. And the Vikings aren't a bad team. I'll say this. They are one of the best rosters in the NFL. That's I don't think that's really debatable. Unfortunately, they don't have a quarterback. Unfortunately, Carson Wentz is not. He doesn't get the magic of the Daniel Jones or the Darnold of last year. Like that the NFL's one guy to do that every year. 2 years ago, it was Flacco. Then it was Darnold. Then Daniel Jones this year. Carson Wentz does not get that. He doesn't get the magic voodoo. He still stinks. I think J.J. McCarthy sucks too. So this is a damn good Vikings team that doesn't have a quarterback, and it's not going to have a quarterback for a long time because they believe in J.J. McCarthy. A lot of this world believe in J.J. McCarthy. I'm not one of them. I don't think I ever can be one of them. I just don't think he's a good quarterback in the NFL. He can win games. He'll be a Brock Purdy, a game manager. But honestly, if I'm the Vikings, I'm not mad about this loss. I mean, you don't have your guy, right? Who they think's their guy, JJ McCarthy. Carson Wentz got you a big win against Cincinnati. If you would have looked to your schedule before the year and you would have told the Minnesota Vikings, okay, you'll beat Cincinnati, but you'll lose to the Steelers, I think they would have been like, oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Like they were expecting to go 1-1 in this stretch. I think they probably thought they would beat us and lose to the Bengals, but the opposite happened. So like, honestly, I think they're fine with that. But I mean, we got to talk about the collapse, I guess you could say, in that fourth quarter, letting up those 15 points. What went wrong? What went wrong, Nate? What was the one thing that moved the needle that went wrong? I mean, obviously there was that big Jordan Addison catch that was saved by, what was that, Herbig that made that play?
No, Peyton Wilson. Peyton Wilson actually had a really good game.
It was Peyton Wilson.
And yeah,
that shaved like a minute and a half off the clock. Mm-hmm. That was
a linebacker massive. Shouldn't be able to be catching a wide receiver like that. Because I remember the DK Metcalf caught up Buda Baker a couple years ago on the interception to tackle him, keep him away from pick six. Peyton Wilson saved a touchdown. I mean, the Vikings still scored, but I know who I'm going to blame for this. I have some evidence, and I bought this the other day. I don't know if you're going to like this. If you look at your camera really quick, I'll put this up.
Yeah, I saw these. I don't endorse this at all. I like the other one, but look, that's me on the right side. Keep him, and that's you going fire him.
I have this one too.
That one I can get down with. I'll get down with that one all day. Get rid of Bob Nutting. That guy's the worst.
Yeah. So let me explain what happened because did you catch the end of the game? Or no?
Yeah, I watched the last quarter of football. I was up. Yeah.
Okay, sorry, you're delayed on my end. So what happened from my eyes and a lot of social media's eyes was the Steelers have 3 yards to go. It's 4th and goal. The announcers are saying they should have just went for it or just kick the points. They were like, kick the field goal, get the points, see what happens. I know Danny's checking his Wi-Fi, so I'm going to keep explaining this. So, of course, Mike Tomlin was actually going to take the field goal, which I honestly was like, okay, let's do it. Get the points. Make this a little bit out of hand. Make it a little bit so it's impossible for the Minnesota Vikings to come back in this game. Now, this is also my only complaints about Tomlin in this game was he almost overcoached them out of this game because the Vikings have a very good coach, O'Connell, on their team. It's very offensive minded, and we got to see that in the 4th quarter. So the Steelers go for it after Tomlin is persuaded by the offense. So his whole I'm making these decisions, the players coaching him comes out, he lets the offense stay on the field, and the offense proceeds to call one of the worst plays, and I can't change my screen. There we go. So I'm here. I'm solo now. So Tomlin can't change the offense, that is, wants to call a certain type of play, and it's one of the worst running plays I've seen. It is not good. And Kenneth Gainwell gets tackled, and he gets tackled at the 1. Now, I can see positives of both of these, positives and negatives. The positive is the Vikings were placed at the 1-yard line. And you know what? At the time, I was like, you know what? I'm okay with this because, the Vikings are pinned at the 1-yard line. It is fine. But then in the back of my mind, it's like, I think Mike Tomlin also should have just taken the points and put this game on ice and said, you know what, it's our game. The Vikings aren't coming back because it would have made it really difficult for the Minnesota Vikings to come back in this football game. So that happens. The Vikings get the ball back on the 1. And of course, knowing how this always works, the Vikings go for 7 plays, 99 yards. 7 plays, 99 yards. The defense wasn't able to hold them because this is, of course, because Tomlin didn't take the points when he should have taken the points. I know the running game was working all game long, but of course it didn't work now. So the Vikings proceed after that stop. 6-yard run by Mason, 11-yard pass by Wentz. The 81-yard pass from Wentz to Addison that was stopped by Peyton Wilson at the let's see here. I forget what yard line it was. It went all the way down to let's see here. I think it actually went down to I'm trying to count. I think it went down all the way to the 2-yard line. Yeah, it went down all the way to I think it was actually at the goal line because the next play was a negative 1-yard rush where the Vikings lost 1 yard. And then we saw an incomplete pass, another incomplete pass. And then on 4th and goal at the Pittsburgh 2-yard line, Carson Wentz finds Naylor for the touchdown. And that, of course, made it a really close game, a respectable 14-24. After that happens, we had a good old Steelers punt. And of course, it was a punt from their own. It was like around midfield. Greg Olsen was yelling at Mike Tomlin. You could tell on the stream. He was like, okay, you need to go for this. Put it on ice. It's 4th and very short, 4th and 1 that was doable. And they proceeded to punt the ball to the Minnesota Vikings that just went all the way down the field for a touchdown to make it a 2-score game. Immediately, the Vikings after this score again. And then, the Steelers had to stop them after this punt. So the Steelers got 2 straight. Yeah, it was abysmal. It was bad coaching. It was just frustrating to watch. I'm trying to go to where that happened, actually. So you had the 7 plays, 99 yards. Actually, the first touchdown didn't happen after 80 yards. There was one before that. But yeah, Steelers punted it away from the middle of the field. Now, sure, I understand that, but you're giving the ball back to a team that just went 7 plays for 99 yards in 2 minutes and 1 second. Yeah, they almost outcoached. Tomlin almost overcoached this game out of their grasp. A game that was 24-6, they only won 24-21. That is the issue I think I have with this game. And I'm going to see what Danny's going on there. Let's see here. I'm going to see when he's coming back. Let's see here. Okay. I just sent him something. So I'm going to keep trying to ramble about this little segment because he'll probably want to talk about it when he comes back, when he fixes the Wi-Fi. But man, this was bad. This was a game that everyone played nice. Oh, there he is. Oh, I can't hear you. I can't hear you.
What about now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
This is the worst thing ever. I don't know what's going on.
You're still kind of, yeah, we'll make it work.
I don't know. This is the worst. I don't know. All right, let's figure it out. I was listening to what you were talking about, though. Not going for that on 4th down. I agree with you. I think they should have gone for it on 4th down, but you don't get that. You are in trouble. You're in a lot of trouble. So I listen. I like the new era of offense in the NFL where you go for everything within 4 and 3. But that's not the Steelers brand. It's never been. It's just never been Steeler football. I'm fine with that. We win games that way. Our defense is the best part of our team, even though they've seemed to struggle. They were great through quarters 1 through 3, and they played well in quarter 4. Just some unlucky stuff happens, and I don't hate giving it back to the defense. You get stuff there like the Vikings would have had to have gotten 30 yards in a minute and a half to then tie the game or win the game. Like I'm fine with that decision, but like I would have liked to put the dagger in them, sure, but at the same time, not doing that won us the game. So it's fine.
Yeah, my thing with it is
out.
They're giving the ball back, and Greg Olsen said it perfectly on the broadcast. And I was in a chat with a bunch of people, and we were all agreeing. So it was like it's refreshing to hear one of the announcers, a former player, express frustrations with the play call, because he's like, I go for that. Any team besides the Steelers is going for that, because who in their right mind, now I understand why they didn't go for it, but who in their right mind is going to give the ball to a team that just took 7 plays to get 99 yards in about 2 minutes? They played a 2-minute drill on the last drive and scored basically helping on an 80-yard touchdown. They were able to break the defense, and that's where the frustration comes in, because it's like, I don't think Tomlin had a bad game. It was the overcoaching in a situation they were up 24-6, and some of these decisions almost came back to bite them, because the fourth quarter, they were outscored 15-3. That isn't good. I don't know if you heard me while you were gone, Danny. I said the offense and defense played great football. Now, I'll say this about Rodgers. You take away that 80-yard pass to DK Metcalf, he only had 120 yards. But, of course, that's going to count. But Rodgers, I think, has to be better. They're playing – I've seen out of Rodgers, I don't know if you can agree with this, he's been playing a lot of game manager type of football. He's not playing take the control of the game. He's like – we're not seeing the Rodgers that can throw for like 250 to 300 yards. Like I said, if DK Metcalf isn't breaking tackles, if he doesn't go for that 80-yarder, Aaron Rodgers only has 120 passing yards. So that can be taken away. So he did have the 200, but we're not seeing the Rodgers from the Jets. Even the Jets version of Aaron Rodgers was able to throw a deep ball down the field and was taking shots. We are seeing more so of a game manager style of Rodgers. I hope this kind of gets adjusted during the bye week because I want to start seeing the Steelers. Like, we at least got to see Russell Wilson last year, the moon ball a little bit. Russell Wilson has one of the best moon balls, I think the best moon ball we have seen in the league in the last couple of years. But we know Rodgers can throw a ball pretty deep down the field as well. And you have a guy like DK Metcalf. So, I mean, besides the fourth quarter collapse, I don't really have much complaints. The only other thing I can think of, and I don't know if you picked up on it, what on earth is going on with Pat Freiermuth? Like, honestly.
It's a Jonnu Smith show, by the way.
Well, it wasn't even him. It was Darnell Washington's show. Thank goodness. I love Darnell Washington. Pat Freiermuth played in, interestingly enough, he played in 28 snaps in game 1. Game 2, 31. Game 3, 38 for 70.4% on the field when the offense is on there. Week 4 against the Vikings, Pat Freiermuth only played in 15 amounts of snaps. He was on with the offense 15 times. He played in 28.3% of the snaps for the offense. That is not good. You don't like Pat Freiermuth's making the money for the tight end group right now. I love Pat Freiermuth, but it's like you can tell. I think it might have stemmed from the special teams, the blocked field goal. I think he was like did something wrong in that play. Maybe they like were sending a message like you have to be better than that. But like I don't see Pat Freiermuth as a guy that has drama around him. But like it's kind of concerning that your number one tight end's only on the field for 15 total snaps. So that's another cause of concern. I hope they fix that. So your thoughts on this one?
I mean, what's going on with Muth, I guess? I don't know, Nate. I don't know. I like that we have 3 tight ends, and there's one that I think needs to get out of town. I think that's a given, though, right? Why is Connor Hayward on this team? I don't know.
Special teams.
Darnell Washington, I like him being used. That tush push play we had, bang, there it is. Why? I think I said this last year. Why not put Darnell Washington at your quarterback position and run tush push with him? With like, I've never understood that. Why are we not putting guys back there to do that? That was the best. That was awesome. Like that will never not work ever. Which is lit. Yeah.
So
I'm fine with it.
Yeah. I mean, personally, I don't have much. We already covered the injuries a little bit. I know Calvin Austin looks like he's going to be out for a while. Jalen Ramsey's probably going to be out maybe a week or two because it looks like a hamstring for him. That Calvin Austin injury is very concerning because this was the concerns about when Pickens got hurt. Now they only have one wide receiver.
Yeah.
If DK Metcalf gets hurt, your wide receiver 1 is Ben Skoranek, Scotty Miller, or Roman Wilson. If Calvin Austin is actually going to be out for a while, which it seems like he will, they have to spend this bye week bringing in someone via free agency or like a low-end trade. I don't even care if it's Alan Lazard at this point. Aaron Rodgers' guy. Go get someone. They need to add someone to this group because this is clearly a we want to win now team. That is clearly how it's been built. But yeah, do you have any final thoughts on the injuries before I guess we pick our 3 MVPs for this game?
I mean, the Calvin Austin injury does concern me, Nate. I can't lie, but listen, DK feasted, which is fine by me.
Yeah, that's what worries me though.
DK feasting all day.
If DK Metcalf gets hurt, they're
gonna shut DK down.
So
if DK gets hurt, you're throwing to me out there.
Yeah, of course. So as we close, let's each pick our 3 MVPs. I'll start with you. Who's your 3 MVPs?
I'll go with TJ Watt. Finally had a just monster game. DK Metcalf, you have to do, and Peyton Wilson. Game saving tackle almost.
Yeah.
So that chewed so much time off the clock that yeah, those are my guys.
I'm gonna go with my 3rd MVP, so 3 through 1. I'm going to go with, let's go Deshaun Elliott, number 3. Big game, first game back. 6 tackles, 4 solos, 1 sack on a nice blitz play. I know Patrick Queen had one as well, but I'm picking Deshaun Elliott. Also 2 pass deflections and 2 QB hits. He was everywhere. Good to see him back. Also had the interception at the end of the game. Number 2, I'm going with DK Metcalf, 5 for 126, a touchdown. Of course, the 80-yard run on the catch. And then number 1 MVP, I'm going Kenneth Gainwell. He stepped up when Jalen Warren was out, 19 for 99, 5.2, 2 touchdowns, 15 yards long. This was literally the Kenneth Gainwell game. But yeah, we don't have the Steelers are off this week, so I don't think we're going to have a preview this week. There's nothing really else to talk about. We'll be back with those next week. Any final thoughts before we leave?
No, apologize for my connection being terrible. I'm going to try and figure this out before we record the final whistle, but yeah, hopefully I figure this out. I'm trying to figure it out right now, and it's just the worst thing ever. So I do apologize for that. Hopefully I figure that out before I have to buy a whole new PC, but I don't know what's going on.
Your internet's being ran by Mac
good
Canada.
episode. It's the worst. It's I hate it so much, but yeah, it's actually not even the internet. So I'm plugged into Ethernet, believe it or not. But yeah, that I guess that'll do it for the Steelers recap.
Okay.
Go Steelers.
Yep.
All right. Well, we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for tuning in. Final Whistle First Down. See you later.